Christ's Hospital School moved from the City of London to new buildings in Horsham, West Sussex in 1902.
I've come along on this very, very bitterly cold morning to try and find out more, really, about Thomas's, obviously, school days and how he fared at Christ's Hospital. And also, maybe, I don't know whether there's anything to find out, perhaps, about Edward King, because he's obviously been a hugely influential, important part in Thomas's life.
Today, Christ's Hospital is an independent boarding school. Pupils still wear the same uniform as in Thomas Billingham's day.
So what year was it exactly relocated from London down?
Gary's meeting the school's museum curator, former teacher Mike Barford.
I'm no Inspector Morse, but by the very fact you've got a few things gathered on this table suggests to me that you might have something
that's
for me.
just possible that I do have, yes. Well,
can we start?
Shall we start with this? This is a gentleman's magazine from 1807. That's the year Edward King died. And this magazine has his obituary. You might like to read a few lines. You'll get the flavour from that.
It's aged 72, Edward King, Esquire, a writer of considerable eccentricity. We believe him to be a most pious and well-meaning character.
And it's clear from that he did marry late in life, but he didn't have any children of his own.
Which may explain why he was the benefactor of Thomas, possibly, that took him on as perhaps sort of his own.
It's a very philanthropic gesture, for which he had nothing in return other than the pleasure of seeing Thomas thrive.
Well, on behalf of our family, thank you very much, Edward King.
Yes,
It's a tremendous gesture.
yes.
Great.
I've got another document here concerning Edward King that would interest you. This is an extract from his personal cash book.
Oh, wow.
Edmund King's cash book.
Given to Tom Billingham at school. What's that, like 10 shillings and sixpence, would that be, in old money? I could just about remember old money.
That would be his pocket money.
He obviously called him Tom, didn't he?
Tom.
I'm not going to call him Thomas anymore, it's Tom from now on.
I think Tom Billingham's got a ring to it.
Yeah.
With Edward King's help, Tom entered a world of privilege, far removed from the hard manual life of his gardener father. Boys were assigned to one of 3 specialist school departments. One for those going on to university, another for those going to sea, and thirdly, a writing school for pupils like young Tom, intended for a career in commerce.
What we do have, something which Tom might typically have done. This is a piece of calligraphy by somebody who was an exact contemporary of Tom's. If you look here, George Robinson, aged 14 years, 9th of July, 1803.
I mean, it's just beautiful, sort of flamboyant writing, isn't it?
Yes.
I know that Tom had something wrong with his eye.
That's right,
Opacity.
yes.
So, you know, it's quite remarkable that he latterly went on to do this sort of writing.
Absolutely. I think the real thing to take away is just the standard of the education that they were given, because it did convert boys, poor children, with possibly very few prospects, gave them a chance of a better life.
Great opportunity.
Yeah. In the writing school, there were a lot of boys in a class. There were 130
130 in a class.
In each class. So whether George was in Tom's class...
Might have been his mate.
Might have been his mate.
Yeah.
Couldn't know him very well, but George was a champion. He won the prize for the best writer in the whole of his class, but no reason why Tom wouldn't have...
runner-up, probably.
Well, almost certainly, I would have thought. An unlucky runner-up, I would have thought.
Robbed.
Well, I'm sure you've come across this...
Boy Tom was robbed.
Boy Tom was robbed. I have one
You've got another little book.
One more
That's
little
it.
book. One more little book. Well, it's about... I thought you might be interested in the games and sports they played.
Totally.
It's called The Boy's Own Book, and it's a book of boys' sports and games. There's a little paragraph here that you might be interested to see.
Football. A match is made between 2 sets of players of equal numbers. A large ball made of light materials, a blown bladder cased with leather is the best. It's placed between them, and the object of each party is to kick the ball across the goal of the other and to prevent it from passing their own. That's a great way of summing up the game of football. The game is commenced between the two goals, which are about 100 yards asunder. If it ends in a draw, it's a penalty shootout and the Germans win. That's unbelievable. So I made that bit up.
No, surely not.
I wonder if he was any good, Tom.
I don't know.
You never know. It's got to come from somewhere,
Could
sure.
be in the genes.
Yeah.
Could be your man.
Yeah, it could be.
Perhaps that's where he learnt it, on that playground.
At school, my last report said concentrates far too much on football. You can never earn a living at that.
They didn't.
They were right about one thing.
Yes, they were right about one thing.
I certainly concentrated too much on sport.